Great opportunity, right? Against a team we've never beaten. For this team, for this lacrosse club, this will be a first. You can find it right now. It's going to be a dogfight tonight. You got to be able to play like champions every single day if you expect to compete for one. And it's about time, boys, that we started playing like the champions that you aspire to be.
Another bomb from outside. Chris Gray unleashes a flamethrower. Here's Gutterding, backs up and scores! Kobe Smith!
It is always beautiful when storms roll through the valley here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Unless you're trying to squeeze in a couple of lacrosse games, though. But the storms have moved through, and we're ready to go. Two of the top teams in the PLL will get us started this weekend here in Zions Bank Stadium in Harriman, Utah, just to the southeast of Salt Lake City. Here are our standings when you talk about two of the top teams. There you have it. Whipsnakes can salt away the top spot in the regular season with a win today. If Atlas can get a win, boy, everything just gets jumbled up and it's thrown wide open with just 2 weekends still to play. Hi, everybody. Alongside Quint Kessenich, I'm Chris Cotter. You saw that at the top of the table, the top two teams. So we got a good one to start the weekend.
You head down the road to Las Vegas. You look up on the big board, the two favorites, Whipsnakes and Atlas. Here we go.
No question about it. And when you think about these two teams and the way they've gotten here, Whipsnakes, so many close games. Last weekend was another one, but it was a little bit of a different story with them, with Matt Rambo, who had an unbelievable game, 4 goals, and his game was a little bit different.
Well, he was challenged by his head coach, Jim Stagnita, and Rambo drew first blood. It was part 1, part 2, part 3. He was the force of freedom. 16 goals now on the season for the lefty out of the University of Maryland. But he showed a different emotional tenor in this game. This is a man now on a mission.
Yeah, as you said, 4 goals last week, and the Whipsnakes, it was close, but they had so many one-goal games, it was nice to take a little bit of a breather. He's ready to go to lead this team right now and assault away yet another regular season championship for the Whips. Let's take a look at their lineup powered by Ticketmaster. Let's start on the back end, Q.
Defense comes first with this group. You got a trio of Terps, University of Maryland. I love their communication. I love their chemistry.
In the midfield, another veteran unit with the exception of Wheaton Jacoboys out of Notre Dame. You got Brad Smith, who had a big game, the guy out of Duke last weekend in their win. What about the attack unit?
Power on each of the wings. Rambo, you just saw the highlights, the lefty power dodger. Same with Zed Williams. He's like a fullback in a lacrosse uniform. These guys bring a lot of muscle to the table at the corner.
Atlas got off to such a great start this year. Now, they've struggled a little bit over the last 3 weeks, losing 2 out of 3. This attack unit, is it as good as there is in the league, you think?
I think so, because of the combination, because of the complementing skill sets. Jeff Teat, the lefty passer out of Cornell. Chris Gray, the righty goal scorer and playmaker out of North Carolina. Then Eric Law is kind of the brains of the operation. These 3 guys, I just love the balance.
The third member of our crew balancing us out of Chantel McCabe down on the field. She's with Chris Gray.
Chris, just a few months ago, you were setting records in college, and now you're a key part of a 5-3 team. What allowed you, around you, to transition so smooth?
I think just the leadership on our team. You know, we have such a great group of guys here. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy coming out and playing every weekend. So definitely the leadership and the coaches.
It feels so many times in this league like it is a playoff game, specifically this one. 2 of the best teams in the league. What has to happen with your roster to take down these guys?
We just have to execute. You know, we feel like we haven't played a full 48 minutes all year so far. And, you know, when we play our game and we're sticking to our stuff, we know we're one of the best teams in the league. So we're excited to show that today.
Looking forward to it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chantel. Our lineups for the Atlas, powered by Ticketmaster.
I love that answer, execution. Gus Malzahn, former head coach at Auburn, he'll give you that execution answer for any question under the sun. Midfield needs to show up. I think this is where this team has the most growth, most improvement potential. Aiken, Costabile, and Baccaro.
And on the attack line, Jeff Teat, second in the league in goals scored, tied for 3rd in points. They can hurt you and beat you, as Q said, in so many ways. How about the face-off battle today? Goal and face-off, but specifically at the start of the game, Q. These 2 face-off men, probably the top 2 in the league to this point, wouldn't you say?
They are. Baptiste, the reigning champ right now, he's having an MVP season. He's 71% in terms of winning the clamp. What Nardella has done well is exit. Okay, so off the scraps, if he gets his cross on the ball, Nardella has been squirrely in his ability to get away from his opponent.
And we are underway here in Utah. Baptiste, like he's done so often this year, winning the opening draw in the game and giving first possession to the Atlas. Hands it off to Chris Gray up top. And now the substitution patterns will take hold. Dox Aitken had a huge week 2 weeks ago in Dallas with 4 goals. Or to Costabile, who finds Baccaro coming in. Baccaro will shoot right-handed and just miss. Law from behind the cage. Tried to hit a feeder in front, ball loose, picked up by Baccaro. Back out to Costabile, he'll look to dodge on Warner. Help comes. Knocks Costabile off his line. That's a tough pass right there, couldn't be handled. And it's a turnover, it goes back to Whips.
Late in the shot clock, I think they got a little desperate, a little over-aggressive. Coming off an hour and 5-minute rain delay, weather delay. You wonder how that impacts what we see here during the first 5 minutes.
Players taking the field, going back to the locker room. Taking the field, going back to the locker room. We saw it a number of times, so.
It can take a certain intensity out of the proceedings.
Just under the lights tonight. Again, we've got 2 games streaming live on ESPN Plus tonight. 2 more tomorrow morning. Another morning start, 10 a.m. local time, noon on the East Coast. Looking forward to that. Zed will fire with his right and score.
Think about a power forward in basketball, his ability to post up, to back himself into pay dirt, into the paint. And that's exactly what Zed does on this play. We talked about the strength. Look at him. Look at those shoulders, Cotter. He's got 2 strong, healthy shoulders. He sits down, feels the defender, steps away, and buries the shot from 5 yards. It's really uncoverable. You got to send the double team.
Very strong-handed, though, right? When you talk about a Zed Williams,
he's strong right-handed, and I mean, there's Matt Rambo's strong left-handed. But
so it works out perfectly.
But you still can't stop him. You know it's coming. Defensively, there, what you want to do is turn him, but you got to send the double team underneath. And the challenge for teams in this league is, do you have 2 strong, stout defenders that can match up with both? Last week, we saw the Archers did. They had Scott Ratliff on Rambo. That's what, a 50-pound size difference?
Ben Rubior, head coach of the Atlas, told you earlier this week he's going to start with Rex Road on Zed and Tucker Durkin on Rambo, right? See how that works out. Ball knocked up in the air, picked up by Chris Gray. Trying to get out of trouble in the middle of the field. Van Raphorst now picks it up. We'll get it over and back, though. Gray did have possession and went back to the other side of the field. Now Matt Palin explaining how he's settled down a little bit here in the early going. Got some broken hardware. As a shot taken on the run in the middle of the field. Got to clear that up, and we do.
Chanenchuk, 1 in the green jersey. He's got such a snappy and quick release. From cradle to the ball is in the air.
Jackson Reed, number 29 in the game this week for Whipsnakes. Young man out of Ohio State, Canadian.
See, they send the double there quickly that time.
Right. Whips got the defender hung up, guy in front, open. Great save by Concannon. He's been hot lately, and he continues that string here in Utah.
He's been unbelievable this summer from close range in particular. 6 yards and in. He is super light on his feet, good size, so explosive.
Here's Jeff Teat. He's working on Matt Dunn. That's a really good matchup to keep an eye on. Aitken. Now the slide comes. Costabile. Look to work on Warner. Tough angle, trying to get back upfield. Got to his right, just got a little bit of a better angle, but not quite enough. Inside the crease, turnover, goes to Whips.
Costabile, that was a big-time opportunity because he had the space there. And while I thought initially he beat Ty Warner, Warner digs in at the last minute and forces the weak angle shot. So it's not always defensively about, hey, my guy didn't shoot. Well, what type of shot did you surrender? And that one was from a weak angle.
Here's Rambo on Durkin. That's as tough as it gets. Now he was able to lose him. Concannon makes the save. Remember, the Whips goes down in front of the crease, no call. Rexroad clears it to Logan. Now Richard. Logan and Richard, 2 defensive middies on the field. We'll wait for some substitutions. As Logan will trot off. Romar Dennis, sniper from distance, number 5. Now in the game for the Bulls. Teat just trying to catch a little bit of room.
Look at that D. Look at that D.
Knocked it away from Law.
It's the best defense in the league, okay? When you play the Whipsnakes, you got to anticipate it's going to be tough to get to 12 goals. That's just the facts of life. They don't give away goals. They're so buttoned up, very collegiate in their approach.
2 teams met back in June on Long Island. 12-9 win for the Whipsnakes. Comeback win for them.
Whips are the most consistent and most disciplined team in the Premier Lacrosse League. Are they the best team? I'm not so sure. Their record is best. They've won a zillion one-goal games.
No question.
They know how to win. They don't beat themselves.
Here's Reed. Trying to work on Richard. Now to Zed. Rambo trying to find the cutter behind the back. Couldn't get anything on the shot. Loose ball in front, though, dangerously here. And Kincannon gobbles it up.
It's a nice job inside by Cade Van Raphorst.
Look at Dearth here. Is he going to shoot it? He does. Bernlohr makes the save. Trying to get the rebound. Law was there, but couldn't get anything on the shot. Bernlohr now runs out of there with it. Downfield, trying to hit Michael Ehrhardt. Chanenchuk now. Interesting first game this weekend. As you mentioned, we had the hour and 5-minute delay. Now fans are just now streaming into the stands.
Well, these poor fans,
right,
during the lightning delay, had to stay in their cars. They weren't allowed to be out in the clear. They had to be undercover.
Zed. Tried to come off a pick. Behind to Keegan Khan. Now here's Zed on the wing. Up top. Fire too high. Brad Smith shot. Smith showed us last week he can shoot from distance.
Fans pouring in. You see them behind the goals right now. This area of the country has experienced incredible growth. With that, a lot of young families. And guess what comes with it? The sport of lacrosse here in Utah. Booming.
Rambo scores. Had almost no angle coming upfield, but he was able to find the back of the net.
This is unbelievable accuracy. There's a window of opportunity for Matt Rambo. This near side high corner. He eyes it up, snipes it past Kincannon. Rambo and Zed Williams have shown up in Salt Lake City. The 2 big men are getting it done.
Let's take a look at our stat leaders through 8 of the 10 games. Yeah, you know Lyle Thompson is having a career year, and that's saying a mouthful. 36 points and 22 goals. It's not very often you get somebody who leads the league in both goals and points, but Lyle is on his way. Kieran McCardle, who we'll see later on tonight with the Water Dogs, our leading assist man with 17.
Best player in the history of the St. John's program. Really underrated as a pro.
Garrett Apple, most caused turnovers.
Most broken hearts as well. That guy will send you into tomorrow if you go tiptoeing through the middle.
So we'll see him later on as well. And as far as our face-offs and goalies are concerned, we talked about this at the Open too. 2 of the best in this very game right here.
You don't win a PLL championship this summer without being strong up the middle. And what that means is goaltending, face-offs, and your finishers around the crease.
Nardella wins it to himself. Get a whistle here. Manny Palin makes the call. Somebody tell Palin to turn around and face us when he makes the call. We're not in Denver anymore. That's what we were doing last week at the University of Denver. Whipsnakes get possession. Rambo behind to Zed. Zed being checked by Rexroad. Khan, full head of speed upfield. Nice save by Kincannon.
Whips go to the invert set. They run Khan through the box. He's a former attackman at Villanova and the University of Maryland, so he's really comfortable behind the net. They didn't send him a pick. It was just an ISO move. I thought he got held. I thought he almost got tackled. No flags. And a good stop.
Gray behind the law, now back over to Teat.
They didn't slide to Con. They're not going to come off Rambo. They're not going to come off Zed Williams. It's kind of like hold your matchups. Ben Ruby were telling me earlier today, we got to hold our matchups. We don't want to get in the sliding business against the Whipsnakes.
Here's Gray from up top. Gets to his left. Bernlohr saw it all the way. Now will Whips look to move quickly.
Bad shot. They get punished in this league. Potential run out.
Bernhardt. Rambo. Got his hands free just for a moment. Now Bernhardt, who's still on the field, up on a wing. Zed behind the cage. Now Bernhardt will look to set a pick, maybe play a little two-man. Rexroad slides by it. Bernhardt's open and scores! Well, I guess they're going to leave the defensive midfielder all by himself.
That is a clinic. That is an offensive clinic in early offense. Off the easy stop from Bernhardt, they segue into the O. And so the Atlas offensive midfielders have to get into the hole. You got Baccaro stuck on D, you got Crawley stuck on D. It's mass chaos. It leads to a layup. So great job by Bernhardt, whose brother Jared just scored a touchdown, by the way.
The Falcons
against the Lions in preseason. And the Whips, that's the discipline, that's the structure, that's the coaching, that's the culture. Starts with a bad shot, Bernhardt with the run out, and they make the Atlas offensive middies play D.
Bernhardt, veteran, remember that family. Just heard about his brother scoring a touchdown for the Falcons in a preseason game against Detroit. Art Bernhardt, Jake, 32 years of age. Played for Team USA in Netanya in the World Championships 5 years ago. 4 years ago. It's almost 5 years ago, it seems.
18, right?
Yeah. We'll be 5 years in San Diego next year.
Get those pictures across my timeline every now and then.
Right. Beautiful tournament that was.
You were jacked back then, Cotter.
And I'm more fat right now. Reed gets the junk, thought he might take a shot. Instead, tried to feed inside, and Carlson couldn't handle it. It'll be a turnover.
Kettering hasn't changed at all. He's the...
Our executive producer for college lacrosse. Works with us on PLL as well. He's out here in this beautiful country. Man, it is awesome out here.
So suddenly you're the Atlas. Welcome to Salt Lake City. Playing the #1 team, you're down 3-0.
Can't get on the board. Had really maybe one really good opportunity, Costabile, where Bernlohr turned him away. Now here's Costabile again, trying to work on Warner.
Win a matchup on the perimeter first.
Law in front. Baccaro over the shoulder.
He's covered.
Yeah, Law was there to get the ball. Now let's see if they can get something else here quick off the chaos. Aiken.
Can't win a matchup.
10 to shoot. Tried to get it to Teat on the far post. Just too tight. Now Warner wants to clear. Look at Kirst. He can shoot from distance. Instead gets it to Rambo. He can shoot from up close. Wow.
We got two isolation goals, Williams and Rambo. You got an early offense goal where they kind of segue from D to O, and this is just a stone cold fast break. Again, it starts with a good D and the run out. Kirst is such a two-way threat. I didn't realize that he's such a talented defensive player. Honestly, I thought he was offense only, coming out of Villanova and Rutgers. He's been a revelation for this team in the middle of the field, and Rambo hits his mid-range shot.
Concannon was able to slide over and get just a piece of it, but it wasn't enough. Deflects into the back of the goal. And we talk so much about all these one-goal games, right, that the Whipsnakes have been involved in. Well, now they're up 4-0 in this game against Atlas, and it's the exact opposite of what happened back in June on Long Island when Atlas jumped out to a quick start. And Concannon was standing on his head, and it was the Whips who had to come from behind. Now it's going to have to be the Bulls' turn tonight.
Whips are 7-1, as you said, but they're plus 10. 7 wins, and they're only plus 10.
But their only loss was a one-goal loss.
One possession games like every week. Atlas need to wake up.
Yeah, clock ticking down to the final minute here this first quarter.
They need a play in this game to change the tenor, the momentum. Could be a hit, can be a save, can be a transition goal. Something's got to change for the Atlas right now.
Chanenchuk a little bit wide, almost hit the fan on the far side. Great little stadium down here. Zions Bank Stadium. Got a shot clock issue, so we'll see if we can repair that. Or we maybe give you some shots of the fans in this stadium.
Still pouring in from the parking lots.
Yeah, here are the fans in attendance. Close quarters, too. They're right on the action. So they reset the shot clock to 38, they said, I should say, for this possession. Man, the Whipsnakes are getting a lot of great looks, Q.
Well, Atlas defense is dealing with some matchup issues. We talked about it in the open, the pressure that Rambo and now Zed Williams can put on you. Watch the double team of Zed Williams on this. The what here is a wing shot. I think it was Chanenchuk with the goal. That's what he does best. The why is a bad double team. They sent two guys to Zed Williams as he's running away from the goal. Okay, there's sometimes you got to look at that's an unnecessary double team that leaves the rest of the defense scrambling. You cannot do that against this disciplined offense, this unselfish offense. And Chanenchuk, the master of the mid-range.
3 goals last week, helping to fuel this 5-0 run to start this game and to start the weekend here in Utah for the PLL. Whipsnakes up big. Now, this is right here where Baptiste is going to have to take over this game, right? And it's not going to be easy against Nardella. Another possession to Whipsnakes. Can hold for the last shot in this quarter.
Tell you, the Whips, they have no ego. Ego is not their amigo. They'll like milk this as long as they can. This 5-goal lead, they'll be super smart with it.
Now Rambo. Rambo and Durkin, 2 really physical players. Up front. Goal, Carlson. Everyone else seems to be feasting on this defense, paying so much attention to Rambo and Zed Williams.
That's exactly right. Rambo draws the eyes of the defense. Look at everyone sloughed in. Everybody looking at big number 9, the lefty, as he posts up right here, and Carlson's able to set his feet. Carlson, man, of few opportunities, but he makes them pay. He's just an all-time great goal scorer. I remember watching him at the high school level in Baltimore and then at the University of Maryland. All he does is score. Every box score his entire career. There he is. Jay Carlson 3, Jay Carlson 4, Jay Carlson 2.
10 seconds remaining.
Now his 8th on the year. Maybe one final chance for Trevor. He'll shoot it. Burnlore makes the save. Fires it downfield. Kincannon was able to make the save on that end. As we saw last week in Denver, anything is possible with the full field pass, but it goes wanting this time after 1 quarter. Yeah, Staggs has to be happy. His team is out to a 6-0 lead.
This PLL season and the championship is a case study on how dreams can go awry. Right now, the Atlas evening has gone awry. Too much Zed, too much Rambo.
Part by the Utah Sports Commission. Utah, the state of sports. Send it down to Chantel with a little bit more on what Coach Rubio was talking about during that timeout.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of cleanup duty that needs to happen. I have never seen Coach Rubio get that intense. And no doubt about it, because the score tells the whole story. He said, cannot keep missing ground balls, must dodge your man, move the ball, and defense needs to continue to make stronger decisions. And hopefully the team responded, but I got to tell you, on this sideline, things have been eerily quiet.
Just shell-shocked out of the gate.
I think you take the long approach, meaning you don't get all 6 goals back in 1 quarter. You have 3 quarters, so you got to beat them by, like, let's say 2 goals per quarter. But then you got to take the short approach somewhere along the line here. You got to win the next 2 minutes or win the next 5-minute segments.
Yep. Violation from Nardella, so here's a start. Possession for the Atlas and Teat. Baptiste inside, he scores, okay. That's one of them back. Now let's see if Baptiste can win possession again at the stripe and keep it going.
Teat carries across the face of the formation, and Baptiste, instead of running off the field, he just cuts the middle. Trevor, you're supposed to run off the field.
Saw opening. Had to take it.
Down 6-0. What was the mindset of the Atlas in that last huddle?
We just got to be more aggressive, more assertive, especially defensively. And offensively, too. You know, we're dancing a little bit.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trevor. Sun Chlorella powering athletes under the helmet. And this is where you have a real strength. The PLL's leader in faceoffs. If you can make a run, he's the one that can get you possessions to get you there.
Oh, here he goes.
Look, going up.
His ability off the ground, Chris, and on the offense, as a ball handler, as a passer, as a goal scorer this summer, it's skyrocketed since he was a collegiate player at Denver.
Vaccaro, full head of steam coming out of the box. Gray.
More touches for Teat. More touches for Teat.
Well, here he is on the far side. Being checked by Dunn, now behind the cage to X. Law's going to try and set him a pick to get the big little, but Warner couldn't come off it. Now Law has it with Warner on him up front to Gray. Nowhere to go. Now the help comes with the double. Tried to get it to Doc's inside. It's just a turnover. Been plaguing him all night long.
Did not like that possession. Okay, Law had the shorty. Why not probe that a bit? Costabile was kind of on a halfway sub there. They were playing offense with 5 guys. It was just disjointed, not everybody on the same page.
Zed, count on that all night long. Trying to dodge from that spot on the wing. Now
match up.
Got the shorty on him. He's upfield. Tries to get to the middle. Help comes. Keegan Khan down the right side. Behind the Rambo. Use the pick, and Concannon makes the stop. Outstanding pick. You can hear the pads thumping up here.
What a ground ball play by Zed Williams. It counts as 1 in the scorecard, but man, he dug that out. He had 2 men draped all over him. Saves his possession with the reset.
Smith. Shoots, scores! Cannon's unhappy with himself. Smith continues shooting the ball really well like we saw last week in Denver. On the run.
I tell you, at this level, a tiny degree of error at the release point translates into a save. This one's perfection. Right-handed jump shot, high release, low location, while you're a moving target from about 11 yards. That is perfection.
Cannon's played well so far. He's about 50% of the saves. He's just under all kinds of pressure. Six different goal scorers in the 7 goals for Whipsnakes. Logan giving chase. Now Baptiste. He'll track it down. Possession granted. Cade Van Raphorst, he'll clear it all on his own. Now Teeter. Try to use a Van Raphorst pick. He does. Gets it on target. Bernlor, too good. Still a shot, but now the officials are going to talk things over.
Did he have possession?
Yeah.
It was in his cross.
Yep, they discuss things and say he did. So it ends up being out of bounds on against Atlas.
You poo-pooed pregame. I said Atlas have never beat the Whipsnakes. Now, obviously, these rosters change so much year to year.
Right, that's what I was saying. Is I don't know how much relevance that has year to year.
Yeah, it's not like other leagues where there's tremendous turnover, but
some continuity.
There's still ownership here. The Whipsnakes own the Atlas until proven otherwise.
And you got to think they know that coming into this game. Now, the hour and 5-minute weather delay, as you said, Q, I mean, you called it right. It's going to have an impact. Some teams maybe more than others. It clearly has had an impact on the Atlas. They were not ready to play at the opening whistle. Rambo. Still all kinds of time to shoot. Now Zed rolls to his right. Got his right hand free, but at a tough angle. Still took the shot, and Concannon was there. Now Van Raphorst battling for that loose ball. Big battle around the arc and some hits. Rambo, beautiful ground ball to keep possession. And a fresh shot clock. Chanenchuk may not want to take it. Bouncer high.
Use the earth. Channy from distance. This turf surface packed in pretty good. Could see the hop he got. Not all sport grass surfaces are created equal.
They are not. And weather has a lot to do with that, too. They have had some rain here in this last week, although they're in a drought officially. From his knees! Paying immediate dividends, Jackson Reed. Add to the tally of goal scorers for the Whips.
Rookie Buckeye. Played for Nick Myers. He's over in Ireland right now with Team USA U21s, but Jackson Reed's going to be a guy. He's going to be a swing man. He can play some attack if you need him. He's an excellent player on the extra man. Skilled from Ontario via Culver. Thought he had a great senior year this year. He's not the strongest cat in the world, but man, he's instinctual. He's great without the ball. Like, he'll play off ball and get open and give defenders all sorts of headaches and add another score to the Whipsnakes.
I know. And it looked like Dearth was screening Kincannon on that shot, Q. And Dearth is a big, wide dude.
You can't see it, you can't save it.
Baptiste is doing the best he can to get possessions, but his team is not getting very many great offensive looks on those possessions.
Your stars are Baptiste, Teat, Gray, Kincannon.
Baptiste has the only goal.
There's been no transition. Atlas can hit you with twos in transition. Kobe Smith, Cade Van Rapport. We haven't seen any of that because they're not making stops.
On the run. And that is a deep shot from Costabile.
Too easy. Bernlohr leads the league in save percentage because of shots like that. I talked to Jim Stagnita this week on my podcast, Lax All-Stars, and I asked him, what happened to Kyle Bernlohr last year? Why did his numbers dip below 50%? He said it wasn't Kyle, it was the defense.
Well, the defense has been amazing behind him, and Blaze Reardon owns the Goalie of the Year award, but he may have to turn that over to Bernlohr at the end of this year.
Bernlohr was 48% last season after being 63 the prior year. I wonder, was he hurt? He lost his confidence last year because they weren't playing good interior defense. They're giving up layups. He got some bad habits because of that. But he's bounced back big time.
Zed's got 10 to shoot. Fights through a double team. Up top, Smith is going to have to let it go. Hitched, and that's not going to help. Now with his left, he scores, though.
How does he hit that shot? We saw him earlier right-handed down the alley, overhand on the run. This is the same player from distance with his offhand or his other hand, because these guys have no offhands. They're good with both. They're amphibious. Brad Smith.
Might just fade away to Bolivia. 9-1 Whipsnakes. Midway through the second, Sun Chlorella powering athletes under the helmet. Let's go to Matt Rambo.
Matt, how do you describe the start of this ball game?
We're just playing fast. We're hitting singles. They're sliding, staying on the double, and we're having some good opportunities. And we're shooting the ball pretty well in this first quarter and half.
What impact did the weather delay have on the beginning portion of this game? Any?
We had to deal with it last week, so we're good.
Thank you, Matt.
See ya.
Appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, they were part of that fourth and final game of the weekend in Denver, where we had an almost 2-hour weather delay there midway through that second quarter. So they started that game, then had to go in the locker room and come out, and they played really well on the backside.
You think that carried over in some way?
I don't know. It's weird how some teams, they do really well with it, others don't. Hitting the pipe. Man, Ehrhardt just let that one fly.
Ehrhardt is a force of nature. When you're downfield level, as Chantel is right now, that guy, 28, in the green, the red, the white, whatever color jersey he's wearing, he just gathers your eye because he's just so imposing.
Rambo got a step. That's all he needs. Dominant first half performance by the Whipsnakes.
Mentioned Las Vegas in our open. The price on the Whipsnakes is plummeting. If you're in Vegas, go to the windows now. Get all you can on the Whipsnakes, because if they play like this, ain't nobody beating them.
All year long, they've been the best defensive team in the league, but they haven't been able to explode offensively, Q. You know, you felt like teams were staying in games, one-goal games. Last week, they took that first step with Rambo and the 4 goals to exploding. Now, they've completed that step. Got a hold, loose ball hold on the face-off. Whipsnakes ball again.
Atlas need something to happen here, a spark, a catalyst. Maybe DJ Ralph's got to change it up.
Right, give him some tunes. Maybe the tunes he was spinning in the the weather delay wasn't working for him.
You get a bad song, you ever get a bad song
stuck in your head?
In a big game, it's the worst thing ever. Worst ever.
Hasn't happened to Keegan, Kong and the Whipsnakes. They have been unstoppable. Now a quick shot goes wide. Kincannon didn't have to make that save. He's been under fire.
Be careful. You're a young athlete. You're playing in a big contest that day. Just make sure you're listening to the right music and you don't go to the wrong channel. Nothing like a bad song can ruin your day.
Well, especially when you're down 10-1.
Stuck in your head.
The thought of that song keeps popping in there. Quick passing, goal. Carlson once again, his second.
Maryland coach John Tillman sitting at home. He's tweeting out Jared Bernhardt touchdowns for the Falcons. Meanwhile, all his former players are just feasting here in Salt Lake City. Double team drawn. They spin it. One more, little triangle passing, the unselfishness. Watch the second look. Double team's drawn. Kahn now catches. He presses, goal line extended. And Carlson finishes with a little fold-over action there. The twister.
That finish was prettier than I thought in live action. Carlson. What a night for Coach Tillman. Sitting back, watching all of his former players move up the charts in terms of the scoring lead in this league. And
it's a good time of year to be a John Tillman. Sitting with that gold trophy in your office. You're off the recruiting trail because it's a dead period. So you can actually have a life. And you get to watch your former alums dice the Atlas out west.
This is just unbelievable. Now Nardella's getting involved in the mix too. One of the few non-Maryland players on this Whipsnakes team. He matches the goal scored earlier from his face-off counterpart, Trevor Baptiste, 12-1.
Well, differential becomes a factor here if you're the Atlas. Like if you're Ben Rubier, don't you got to throw the towel out there and call timeout? Bring these guys in now. 5 minutes to go before halftime.
PLL tweet. Top two face-off guys. Who's going to win? People at home, almost 70% Trevor Baptiste. Over to the wings, Nardella picks it up but loses his footing.
He was pushed, that's why he lost his footing.
No call, Baptiste.
Look at that.
Coming out of traffic. Shoots, why not? He's one of the best goal scorers of the day for this team.
His fans love that play. Coming to their feet, cheering with Baptiste jerseys, Teat jerseys. I sense we're sitting amongst an Atlas. That's a cool thing about the PLL. When you go to an event, there's 8 fan bases here.
What's up, Chantel?
Yeah, I was talking with Joe Nardella this week, and there's no surprise his numbers took a dip, but I asked him what he changed in order to make the surge he has in this second half of the season. He says he's really gotten concentrated off the field. He used to give a ton of private lessons, but he's kind of divvied out responsibility in terms of his personal workload away from the PLL, and that's allowed him to put focus and specific training for the PLL, and he says that has made a huge difference in his own game, and how about a goal to go with it?
Appreciate that, Chantel. Yeah, he matches Baptiste, who scored the only goal of the game, unbelievably, for the Atlas. Let's see if that ball was tipped. It was not. Over and back call against Atlas. Will Whips look to strike quickly? Cursed. Got knocked away. Here comes Van Raphorst.
Opportunity now, maybe a trailer break.
Good catch by Teat. Pick nothing doing that time is done, slid around it. Romar, he can shoot, takes the shot. Bernlord didn't know whether he stopped it completely. Looked behind him a little bit, but he did get enough of it. Smith thought about taking the shot with the left, does not. Timeout on the field. Coach Staggs is going to call a timeout, talk things over. Just over 3 minutes left to go in this first half. First half dominated by the Whipsnakes. Let's go inside the huddle, presented by Athletic Brewing Company. Take a listen to Coach Stagnita.
Let's go. Catch your breath. Catch your breath. You good? Hey, let's not get sloppy, okay? Let's not get sloppy. Let's just execute, right? When we execute, people are open.
Let's do, let's go to 21. Bring the already behind again. We set a pick or something. We get two trees.
Do we even need to set a pick?
I'm just back there as an outlet, so
Okay.
they're not switching.
All right, let's go.
Easy offense if they go.
I know it does, but we're running by him too. It's, you know, 6 to 1 half does the other. Let's go 1, 2, 3. All right?
They do 2 read or something?
No.
Oh.
There are teams in this league whose huddles feel like a democracy. With Jim Stagnita, he takes the feedback, but he's in charge, and he makes the decisions. Former player at Penn, head coach at Washington and Lee and Rutgers, and he's the best in the business right now in terms of pro lacrosse coaches.
He talked about at the top of the show, Q, this was going to be a battle of really the top 2 teams in the league, 2 teams that really think they can win the championship when all is said and done. And the Whips, with a win, seal the #1 seed in the playoffs and that bye in the first round. They don't have to play in the quarters in Boston, and that's huge when you've played a full season of lacrosse and you're trying to heal some bumps and bruises and get ready for a championship run. Carlson behind the back, misses.
Their culture, the Whipsnakes culture, is elite. For many of them, it started at the college level playing at Maryland, and that's just continued as pros.
Now Zeta look to dodge. He's in front of the goals, takes a shot, man. He's too high. Still 14 to shoot for the Whips. Rambo put it in play. Rambo now with Rex Road on him. Inside. Carlson upset with himself. Wanted the hat trick in the first half, just missed. 6 seconds to shoot. Kahn knows he's got to go quickly. Now he's just going to dump it in the corner.
They don't beat themselves. Got to pale them through a flag up by the midfield line.
It might be a delay of game. Does that whistle sound in the horn? That let's get the final word.
Fouls on Whipsnakes, 76, 30-second technical, delay a game.
Yeah,
all over it, Cotter.
The horn for the shot clock violation sounded. Still had the ball in his cross. Then he dumped it into the corner. Just a second late, but Staggs is unhappy about it.
Opportunity now for the Atlas, and just more so an opportunity to find some rhythm, find some mojo. Get your offensive vibe going. Everybody get a touch, get the ball hopping. It's been stagnant.
Only goal scorers were face-off guy. It's unbelievable. T, he's the man who's got to get it started. And does, but Bernlohr's there.
Bernlohr's been sharp as attack tonight. It's a different look from the Atlas head. 2 players inside. And kind of caught the Whips off guard. It's a new look. But Bernlohr's there with the body. He's not the biggest cat. You know, he's one of the smaller goalies in the league.
Smith just clears it in time. Shooting from distance. Right off the ground. Apologize for the language, but you can hear some frustration. Really a lot of frustration coming out from the Atlas side. You know what I'm saying?
If you were in goal right now, the F-bombs would be flying. Let's just put it that way.
Right, from everybody.
I've seen you. I've seen you the same way.
Right, Concannon has been under siege in this first half. 45 to shoot. I imagine the Whips will take their time, work for a good shot here, and work this clock down.
This is one of those games when you're goalie and you're down 12-1. It's hard not to be a jerk to your defensive teammates. You have to work hard to stay positive with them. It's easy to turn on them.
Right.
You've got to continue to be positive and support them.
Trainor with a really nice ground ball. Now he'll shoot.
Oh, that was
Bernlohr.
gorgeous.
Smith, who never seems to leave the field,
That
picking
was
up the ground
a sick
ball.
play.
Yeah.
Multiple passes, a layup to Bernlohr with a kick save. Really? Akron, Ohio, Kyle Bernlohr.
30 seconds remaining.
Not many D1 and pro lacrosse players coming out of Akron.
Final 30 seconds of this first half. As dominant a half of lacrosse as you're going to see in this league.
Ever.
Yeah, the Whips, I mean, won the first 2 championships of the PLL. Last year, Chaos defeated them in the championship game. They want that crown back, and they're playing like it right now. Zed shoots, Concannon maybe just gets enough of it.
As impressive a half as I have ever seen in pro lacrosse.
12-1 at the half. Whipsnakes with the big lead. Don't forget, coming up at the half, we're going to interview Paul Rabel.
Bottle that, Whipsnakes. If you're a Whipsnakes fan, you might want to be booking your trip to Gillette, maybe a little DC and a little Philly.
Chantel is standing by with Coach Rubior.
Coach, you've said the same thing in these huddles. You got to do those small things correctly. You have to take control of this game. At this point, what can you rely on and who can you rely on to turn this thing around?
I thought kind of the last 5 minutes of that quarter, I thought we started making some plays. And I think it started with just some tough ground balls. I thought they beat us in the ground ball battle early. I think Bernlohr's playing great. We haven't had a ton of offensive possessions. But I don't know what else we can do except we got to shake that one off and come back and play a better second half. That wasn't our best lacrosse. Scoreboard is not important right now. It's like how well can we play, and it starts with picking the ball up off the ground.
Looking for that response. We'll see it in the second half. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Chantel. Coming up at the half, show the fate of the sport trailer, plus Paul Rabel will talk with Chantel about the film being aired on ESPN Plus coming up, about to make its debut, and first half highlights and analysis. Almost all of them will be from the folks in green. Whipsnakes dominating the Atlas. 12-1 our score at the half here in Salt Lake City. Chris Cotter alongside Quint Kessenich and Q. I mean, I don't think anybody thought that would happen, even though the Whips have been playing such great lacrosse.
Great crowd here, and I think everyone's a little shocked because that was as good a first half as I've ever seen in 20 years of pro lacrosse, let's say, and the history of the PLL, certainly, for sure. Every aspect.
Dominating.
Every aspect.
Outperformers presented by OutSystems.
I mean, you look at the offensive variety, the way they were sharing it, and then defensively, Kyle Bernlohr, 8 saves, only 1 goal against. He's at 89%. The defenders have held up their bargain. They're winning their matchups on the perimeter. The defense is sliding with meaning and impact. The only little area is that Trevor Baptiste of the Atlas is winning the face-off battle. Other than that, total domination.
And you can see, it's not exactly like it's a complete landslide there for the #1 face-off man in the league, Trevor Baptiste. Joe Nardella is holding his own. But the shooting percentage, turnovers, that was a huge problem for Atlas in that first quarter. They did not come out after that hour and 10-minute weather delay well enough. And you heard Coach Rubior talk about it when he was speaking with Chantel going into the locker room. They didn't play a good first quarter at all. Maybe got something going in the last 5 minutes of that first half. Let's see if that can carry forward into something positive here in the second. Baptiste goes down trying to win the face-off, and his teammate does get it. Quick offense, Teat opting not to.
No call. Thought Logan got dumped from behind.
Great, no angle. Now Law. Aiken comes in from the box. Gray now. Picaro did as well in Costabile. Picaro's going to set a pick. Nope, Warner slides through it. Gray has no angle to shoot. Now from X. Still on his horse, chasing Warner around, and Bernlohr just too tough.
Gray running circles around the Whipsnakes defense.
Can't solve Bernlohr. Here's Teat. Now Picaro sets him a pick. Picaro with Dunn checking him. Shoot wide.
It's nice D. It's pole there. I think it was Bryce Young and Dunn.
Yeah.
So they switch. Big deal. You're not changing the matchups because it's pole.
Slide over. That one didn't get through.
Better. Better ball movement now. And you start to see the Whipsnakes defense maybe late in this double shot clock here getting a little tired.
20 seconds left to go in this one. Costabile, it's knocked off his feet. No flag there. Now he got it. A little bit late coming out of his pocket. Several flags. This is going to be a delayed call against Whipsnakes. Shot clock winding down, 5 seconds. Gray's going to have to let it fly. No chance. Warner knocks him off his feet, and we'll get the whistle.
That's okay. That is a much better possession by the Atlas.
Whipsnakes 83. 30-second technical, push.
When you think about, Chris, when their offense is functioning well, it's ball movement and people movement. Looks like Bernhardt just rides up his back. Those are some big-time, really good athletes. Bernhardt, excellent high school football player. Costabile as well.
30 seconds, Bernhardt will sit.
Recently named offensive coordinator at the University of Maryland, Jake Bernhardt.
Vineyard Vines power play, second power play of the night for Atlas, unsuccessful in their first attempt. Costabile firing, bounces it too high.
A little bit different formation, as I said earlier. The Atlas sent 2 inside, 2 men on the crease there for a moment.
Trying to find a cutter, Costabile quickly, now Aiken. Law denied by Bernlor.
Lefty's locked in, man. He's been unbelievable tonight. Kyle Bernlor.
Full strength. Take a look at the progressive game flow of yet another save from Kyle Bernlor.
Angle play, hand-eye coordination, good quickness, anticipation, intuition. Kyle puts it all together. He's playing with just boatloads of confidence this season. Building.
5-time All-Star, leads the league in save percentage coming into this game, and so far he's adding to that number. Tough angle.
Heads up.
Jackaboys.
He put that out of the stadium.
Into the alfalfa fields or whatever that is out there.
Maybe he's going down to Provo.
Zed just muscles his way by a defender. Now he's got an open man wide. Five seconds to shoot. Carlson's going to have to make something happen in a hurry, or he's going to dump it in the corner. That's what he does. Whipsnakes will set up their ride.
We got a new game in the second half.
Now the Atlas have to pay it off with a couple of runs here to get back into the game from a scoreboard perspective. But certainly playing a lot better than they did in the first half.
And you're playing also again with the scoring differential, the SD, attached to everybody's.
Right.
Atlas are plus 16 coming in, Whips are plus 10. You know there's going to be a logjam of teams in the 5-5, 6-4 range.
Right. And 2 through 5 right now, when you think about it, as Gray misses.
So that point differential, it's big.
It is, because there's a lot to play for.
Quarterfinal, also playing for the championship series.
Yep, next February, top 4 teams in the regular season this year will play there. That's something a little bit different than the current season, where top 7 teams make the playoffs. Top team, and it looks right now like more and more it's going to be the Whipsnakes. We'll get a bye, so you'll have 6 teams playing in the quarterfinals in Boston that first weekend of September. Kincannon makes the stop in the crease. Kincannon's been great in close play.
All season long. Interesting talking to Seth Tierney, his former college coach at Hofstra.
Dennis, he's really deadly from that range, but he just misses.
I said, what was a turning point in Jack's career? I said, when he showed up with us, he was kind of a big, tall goalie, and he wasn't good down low. So he was always cheating down low. When he kind of grew into his body, he started making saves down low, and that went away. And then he's been like an all-over-the-place goalie since then. Developed late in his college career, continues to do so as a pro. I think he's a great candidate for Team USA.
Teeter. It's a law. It goes in.
Atlas look like themselves here in the second half, Chris. Defense, much more organized. Baptiste still doing his thing. And on offense, the ball movement and people movement has been fast. Teat leans into the goal line extended. He draws that far defender across the face of the crease. Law reads it, so he cuts to the back post. Sliver of an angle. Atlas finally look like themselves.
They got hit you in the helmet. Did he hit that at the end or no? Didn't tip the goalie stick? Ehrhardt, go! Hey, yo, we're only going to have 40 when we get it. Yeah, call the thumb. Come on, we need a good 19 minutes this half. Let's go. Couple mistakes here and there, good 19, and we're good.
Sun Chlorella powering athletes under the helmet. Matt Rambo mic'd up today, 12-2. Whipsnakes with the lead over Atlas. Bulls just scored a goal. Maybe that can get something going for them here in the second half.
So Whipsnakes had like a mile challenge run amongst the team this week. Rambo ran at like a 6:07. And I said, Matt, was that downhill? Was that in your golf cart?
Yeah, you and him were kind of going at each other a little bit there during that weather delay.
Kirst and a couple of the young guys ran like 5:20s.
Jeez, forget it. Whipsnakes jumped out to such a big lead. Now you got to think for Coach Staggs and company, just don't have a letdown here in the second half and give Atlas any type of belief that they can come back in this game.
Not easy playing with a lead like this.
Although you would take it rather than being
absolutely
down 12-2. Smith. Man,
it's not like you can put in the subs. You got a 19-man roster.
Right, this is it. Guys like Smith, who's been so good scoring on the run.
The shot clock's 52. You can't like kill 5 minutes at a time.
Rambo now in trouble. Double team comes.
He's getting held.
Physical, and he keeps the ball. Beautiful play by Rambo. Now someone's got to be open, and he gets Zed on the far side. Check that, Keegan Khan. Let it rip. 2 seconds to shoot. That was a big opportunity for Khan. Couldn't test Kincannon.
Fans loved it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They loved watching Rambo work his way through the defense.
Aggressive game flow on Rambo.
Philly native now makes his home in Jacksonville. Look at him. He's strong. I mean, he's just stout. What do you think he goes, about 215-ish?
Yeah, probably about that, right? I'd say so.
5'11".
Physical player. Quick feet,
loves
too.
Contact.
Yeah, we've seen it the last couple weeks.
There's a lot of guys in this generation, they love contact. They initiate contact. Matt Rambo, he's not going to, like, fake you out. You know, he's going to initiate contact and then move off of that.
Docks with the bouncer, misses, stays with Atlas.
Kind of like a running back who's breaking arm tackles.
If you initiate, then you can get the defender on their heels as opposed to them. Does it get in? No.
Hits Bernlohr and lands with a little backspin. The entire ball's got to cross the goal line.
Fans here don't like it.
There's a lot of Atlas fans here.
They are. Bluebirds coming out.
We're going to go to video, I believe.
The ruling on the previous shot by the Atlas was ruled no goal. Atlas has challenged that ruling.
Ball's got to cross the entire goal line. So it can be on that white line. The entire ball must cross the line. This looks like it's going to be a good call. The ball's going to hit the line, and then with the backspin, anytime a ball hits a goalie or a player, it's going to generally have backspin when it lands. Watch it kick towards us. Lands on the line, which is not a goal, and then kicks out. So a good call by the officials. That is no goal.
Hans Wittelsberger on the far side. Peter Buchanan made the call on the near side. No goal.
Buchanan with a good call. Matty Palem knows something. He's a former goalie at Syracuse, number 44 tonight.
There he is, getting a good look at it.
A beautiful night here, the sun setting behind the mountains.
Really
Matty finally realized that we're on the non-mountain side of the stadium.
Coach Rubior has seen better days, although I like this philosophical approach when he talked to Chantel at the half about,
we got to get better.
Down big. Just got to work on getting better.
Yeah, we got to get better.
Because they still have the playoffs ahead of them, They're a lock to make the playoffs.
We got the Water Dogs playing the Redwoods.
Right. Redwoods are near lock to make the playoffs.
2 games tomorrow.
Close.
Next week, they continue the Lewis and Clark journey across the west to Seattle, Tacoma area.
Right.
Week off the 27th. quarters on September 3rd at Gillette.
Here's our standings.
3 of them.
After further review, the call stands no goal. The ball never crossed the goal line.
Thank you, Manny. Palin, no goal. We'll continue.
Atlas will lose a timeout.
You saw those standings, by the way. 5 teams have already clinched a spot in the postseason queue. Like I said, because of goal differential, that's the first tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So the Redwoods are in a really good spot. You know, their magic number is 1, essentially. A win or a loss.
The Archers seem like the barometer team.
They
like
are.
Archer win, Archer loss really has a lot of trickle down.
Archers, and if Cannons can somehow get a win this weekend, they're still alive if Chaos takes an L. Because their point differential is really close. So tomorrow, Chaos and Cannons, those are 2 teams to really keep an eye out. Rambo gets free, uses that physicality, and forces Kincannon to make a nice save, which he does.
Like to see some Atlas transition. The Whipsnakes have done a really good job of getting back on D. You think about Cade Van Rapphorst, 2s. Kobe Smith, 2-pointers in transition.
Right.
That hasn't been a factor. Logan, some runouts. They're just not getting anything in non-6-on-6 fashion.
Costabile down the alley. Now tries to get back to the middle of the field. Warner has just been a glove on him. And anybody he's been checking
What an
tonight.
impressive young man in medical school. Or is it Harvard? He's got a Yale degree and he's at Harvard Med School.
You gotta be kidding me with that. Goal, tough angle. Romar Dennis.
That was nice off the wing dodge where he left himself just enough angle. Loyola Greyhound, look, he's got the shorty. Splits to his right, and you think there's not much there. Bernlor plays the percentages, but look at that shot. Tucks it in the far corner.
12-3.
Back-to-back goals, right?
Yeah, now it's Baptiste's turn to do what he does best. Win at the stripe. Gets the violation against Nardella. Chantel. We'll go down to Chantel in a little bit.
Romar's got great speed, but 2 years ago he was the fastest player in the league.
And he can shoot on the run too, man, with a lot of pace. Teat. Whipsnakes held Teat to just 1 point in their first meeting back on Long Island in June. And they're doing a job on him again tonight. Just 2 points, no goals, 2 assists. Here's Costabile.
Yeah, Atlas, they're not sending shorties at Teat to get a pick game going where the matchup will be changed.
Costabile got a look and he scores. We kind of made up for a very similar play in the first half when Bernlor was able to stone him. That time he beats him.
You see the difference in angles between that prior play? That prior play, he was coming in almost from goal line extended. This goal, he's coming in up top. A much better angle. And this puts pressure on Warner right here. He starts this with a good angle. He can go right or left. So he beats him left-handed. He's able to clear enough space to switch back to his strong right hand. So much of goal scoring, as Bernlor gets a piece of that actually with his shoulder, is geometry, creating sufficient angles. Defensively, how they read double teams. Like, do I need to go? Do I give up that shot? Or do I respect it? And that was a good job by Costabile, starting his move, giving him a two-way go.
The anatomy of a run in the PLL, win faceoffs.
Here we are now, 3 in a row.
Yeah, when you got Trevor Baptiste, he can do that. And he can score too. Just wide, but possession stays with Atlas. Has a goal in the first half, the first and only goal scored by Atlas in that first half. But possession for the Bulls.
You never know in this league. You tie together some goals, you hit a 2. Wheels could fall off the Whipsnakes bus. We've seen earlier this year, what was that Chrome back, right?
Yeah.
What, were they down like 7 goals with 7 minutes to go or something?
And keep in mind, in order to win the first game of the season between these two teams, Whips had to go on a 9-2 run after getting down big early in that game. That could be a push in the back on Costabile. No flag, out of bounds. It'll stay with Atlas. 13 seconds to shoot.
That was a 5-goal lead with 7 minutes to go.
Wow.
On a night that the Chrome.
Aiken, Bernlohr makes a nice save.
Well, that one was lucky, man. That thing like tucked in his sock and then ricocheted up his shorts.
As a goaltender yourself, you should know better to be lucky than good sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You use that luck to your advantage.
And occasionally you just get hit. You're in the right place at the right time.
Progressive game flow. Oh, that was 5-hole and then some. Unfortunately, looks to be all right.
Wear baggy shorts.
Right, or sweats in your case. Rambo scores, beautiful.
Tell you, Carlson does a good job on this play of not rolling into the crease because he's blown up like an accident out on I-80. And he stays out of the crease, so this play continues. And then there's Rambo. Watch Rambo with the fakes now. Face dodge, absorbs the cross check, multiple fakes and beats the goaltender from close range.
Whip stopped the run at 3 goals for Atlas. Put that advantage back to 9.
1 minute remaining.
Look how relentless these two are. Baptiste just pushing Nardella out of the way. Possession to Logan and the Atlas. No ways Baptiste can take that shot. He does, but he's got Law backing up.
Possession shot.
Now Teeter. Crawley coming in out of the box. Waves the defenders and Baptiste off. So Gray can put it in play to Baccaro. That's Dennis. Final 30 seconds of this third quarter. Dennis blows by his man. Baccaro shovels it wide. They're getting more opportunities in the second half. They're not finishing as many as they're getting, though, and they need to finish all of them. Law. Teat. Now he's got a shorty on him. It's Ehrhardt. Tried to feed it inside. Was he forcing that too much? Clock winding down inside of 10 seconds. Van Rapport, he's going to have to just let it rip. He does. Wide. Horn sounds.
Whipsnakes played a little rope-a-dope that quarter. They basically said, come on, Atlas, we got you 12-1 at the break. Fans here enjoying the PLL in Salt Lake City. It was all Whipsnakes in the first half, but the Atlas found a spark from Costabile, but a little too much Matt Rambo tonight.
Player spotlight. Matt Rambo has done it all at every level. 2-time All-American, won the Tewaaraton and the national championship for Maryland, breaking that long drought for the Terps back in 2017. 2-time champion here at the PLL level as well.
Matt, how do you guys effectively play with this lead?
We're just trying to play our game. Hit singles. We still got work to do this season, so we're just trying to hit some singles and play our game.
Individually, last week, big day. Tonight, big night for you. What has changed?
Just working out some more, just working on my game a little bit more week to week, and having Zed back take some pressure off. He's the best.
Thank you, Matt. Sun Clarella powering athletes under the helmet. Zed and Matt form a physical 1-2 punch at that attack line. Zed the righty, Matt the lefty. It seems to be working out perfectly for him. Rambo had 4 goals last week. He's got 4 so far this week. Bernlohr goes high to make the save.
That's a brilliant stop coming off a long stick, change of level, low to high release. Whew. But Rambo's reinvigorated here towards the stretch run. There's no question. Jim Stagnita got after him before last week's. And
right. They'd be more aggressive, and he has been. Holy cow.
These players are out there in the world on their own. Matt lives in Jacksonville. Recommitted to his training, his diet.
Smith.
His rest.
Smith almost stepped down. Now he got free, but the hands got hung up. But boy, Concannon didn't know he had it, and he did. Chantel, what's going on?
Well, you guys asked Rambo the perfect question. I was busy asking Coach Stagnita that same question. How do you coach a team when this is what's playing out on the field? And, of course, in typical Stags fashion, he looked at me and he said, I think that third quarter did the talking.
Yeah, exactly, Chantel. It's perfect because it wasn't as clean as the first 2 quarters were. And you don't want to give anything up. Beautiful move and a goal. Now you see that's what you were talking about, Q, with Atlas Lacrosse. Chris Gray finishes it.
It's a passing team. Off the pass, there's an ankle-breaking hesitation move done here by Chris Gray. It starts with Teed. A little east-west action. Teed presses, draws the double team to Gray. These two are the best off the pass in the league. And the approach just ends with an ugly potential ankle right there.
Bryce Young.
Little skids for Bryce Young. Doesn't get the traction that he needs. Gray, who's going back to North Carolina, Chapel Hill, to finish up his master's program.
Very good.
I ran into him pregame during the delay.
What's he getting that degree in? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to think what you can go back.
What a lucky guy.
Yeah, no, it's great.
He gets to go back to college.
You get to go back and get a master's degree.
I said, are you going to ask, are you going to help Coach Bresci or Coach Levy? He kind of laughed.
I imagine he'll probably be around a time or two. Big battle for the ground ball. Look at Baptiste just hammering away. Still loose, no possession. Now a flag comes flying in. Ooh. Still no possession. Bodies flying, including Baptiste. And the flag has got to be against Atlas because possession is Whipsnakes for now.
Yeah, this game could go the other way here, too, Chris, in a blowout. The Atlas could lose their cool and maybe try to send a message.
Physical off the ground in the Atlas own zone, and it's going to end up being a penalty against the Bulls when all is said and done. Can Chanenchuk take advantage before we even get the call?
Did you see that Chanenchuk shot off the run 2 weeks back?
Oh.
That thing was as good as I've ever seen.
Now Zed, coming upfield, just takes a shot. Not even close.
The velocity that Chanenchuk got on that shot on the run, it was just
Fouls on Atlas, Fouls on Atlas, number 9, 30-second technical push.
It's a right-handed shot. He gets so much velocity at the end with his wrists and his hands. Like a whip, snap.
Chanenchuk had 3 goals last week in Denver, 12 on the year. Take a look at Baptiste here. This is just hack on Rambo.
It could have been a lot of things. Could have
another
been a hold.
Another one. 3.
Yeah, why not?
Right, it was always, for young players, one hand on the stick, hatchet job is almost always going to get you sent to the box.
Nothing good happens.
Vineyard Vines power play. Chanenchuk. Thought we might see a shot there. Quick ball movement. Carlson, too high.
Nice closeout inside. I think it was Kobe Smith. No. Durkin.
Skip past. Now we'll see Chanenchuk. There's that shot.
That's a 1, nearly a 2. It's like the ball explodes out of his stick. Near side. Watch. Catch. Crow hop. Step. Just amazing velocity. Chanenchuk, the Long Island product. St. Anthony's, the Friars. He's engaged. He's an assistant coach at Stony Brook. Loves to listen to his Tom Petty music. He's 32 now. He's getting up there. You think DJ Ralph's got some Tom Petty? I haven't heard any Tom Petty from DJ Ralph.
You could throw some Tom Petty out there and mix it with some
Should I ask
Beyonce,
him? I can ask him. He was playing. I gave him a mix at halftime. He played it. Phil Collins in the air tonight. To what? Eye of the Tiger, was it?
Right. That's talent. On the fly, by the way, to mix those 2 songs.
I don't know if he can do Tom Petty. He did Eye of the Tiger into Phil Collins.
By the way, I asked him before the game, do you prefer if we call you Ralph or Ralphie Ralph? Whenever you ask that question to a DJ, I should have known what the answer to that was. Oh, DJ Ralphie Ralph, for sure. Forget about the surname.
He's an LA native. They fly him to all the games, and he's worth every penny of it.
Now we get a call in the middle of the field over and back is going to be the call, so it wasn't a physical penalty. But you're right, it is getting a little bit more physical here in Chippy in the final
why not?
8 minutes of this fourth quarter.
Don't do something stupid if you're an Atlas, but play with some pride, play with an attitude. Two teams, we talked about it in the open. They could ultimately meet for
all the glory.
September 18, I believe, the championship game outside of Philly.
Again, with a win tonight, Whipsnakes clinched the #1 seed and the bye in that first round, that quarterfinal round in Boston, that first weekend of
Officials
September.
are on it now, though. Anytime they're sensing what the Atlas are doing here with their sticks.
More flags down. Another call against the Atlas. Zed shoots and scores. Well, that's an answer.
Zed, you're covering Zed, but you're not really on him. I mean, this is like the ultimate disrespect. Watch Zed
Man down face off.
shoot through this defender like he's not there.
First, Kobe Smith.
Cause and effect, slash, just taking chunks of tricep. Here's the goal. Look at Zed. He leans in and he just shoot like you're not there. Shoots right through him. So strong.
Penalty will stand, so Smith will still have to serve the slashing call, even though Zed was able to bury it. Vineyard Vines power play for Whipsnakes as we approach the midway point of this fourth quarter, a game that has been owned by the Whips since the beginning. If you're just tuning in, had about an hour and 5 or 10 minute weather delay, and the Whips came out and blew the Atlas doors off from the opening whistle, and that was it. Really, the only place the Atlas have had any sustained success tonight has been Trevor Baptiste, the faceoff strike.
Yeah, that first quarter, the first half was as good as we've seen. 3-0, and even at 3-0, we talked about it. We said this thing doesn't look good.
It could get out of hand in a hurry, and it did. Wow.
6-0 at the end of the first quarter, 12-1 at half.
Let's go inside the huddle, presented by Athletic Brewing Company, and take a listen to Ben Rubio in the Atlas.
All right, so talk to me. Do we want to just play? Or do we want to? Let's go. I would like to go 2-2-2. All right, Docs, just carry it behind. All right, I know we're down 1, and you're playing with Chris. Okay, look, we got one less guy, so don't need to force anything. All right, ready for a banjo here, and just get that near side attack, and let's see if we can't get something.
Hey, on that 2-2-2, make sure the inside guys are moving in and out and in, because if you stand there, it's easy for them to slide. So the more you move, it's going to cause chaos for them and understanding their slide packages.
Where are we putting it's 5 guys? So where are we putting the
5 guys. Let's go
inside.
Let's go inside, but let's get that crease nice and hot. All right, everybody good with that? One inside up top is scraping. Everybody good? Here we go. Bulls on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bulls.
Yeah, interesting. They have possession, but they're a man down here.
Inside and out, outside and in. I also heard 5 guys. Did someone mention 5 guys in that huddle?
Somebody mentioned a banjo, too. I don't think Ralphie Ralph has got anything there with banjo music. But 5 guys, don't say that.
He said 5 guys.
I know, it's late at night.
You didn't bring your snacks.
No.
Cotter didn't bring his snacks, everybody.
No snacks
Game
up here.
2, guess who's going to have a sugar fit in game 2? Cotter's going to be getting all cranky crank.
I'll be good. 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow, both streaming on ESPN+. Big one night for Redwoods. Win for them, and they're in the playoffs.
Been scoring goals lately, haven't they?
They have. That's the thing.
And more fun to watch. It's a lot of transition. They're running from D to O.
30 goals in the last couple of games. When
hitting the 2s.
They were having a hard time scoring goals. They had 3 goals in a game we did earlier on this year.
Again, Mike, sit. Like you.
Just getting word that the concession stand has double cheeseburgers. Nothing perked me up this night.
There's one right there. There's one right there. See it? Or is that a plate of nachos with cheese?
The guy in the Redwoods jersey.
Look at that. Yes. He's got a Kyle Harrison Redwood jerseys on.
Meanwhile,
He is a big pile of nachos.
Back to the game. Costabile. It's Bernlohr on the back end, and then unbelievable team defense. Nothing. There's nothing there. Shot clock violation without a shot on goal.
Michael Ehrhardt sets the tone. Where this team has really improved to me, it's the play of Bernhardt, Warner, and Connor Kirst at the short stick position. These guys winning their matchups. Rarely do they have to slide, and when they do, they're buttoned up. Matt Dunn, Bryce Young down low, but Timmy Muller. Coach Staggs told me he's the straw, directs the defense. He's the conductor, the voice, the crease presence. He's the one who ties it all together. Every defense needs that.
Another Maryland product.
That's why we have TJ. That's why we have JK, America. People that tie it all together.
Flag on the play.
Fouls on Atlas, 91. 30-second technical interference.
Danny Logan, guilty party, interference call. 15-5, our score. Whipsnakes 6 minutes away from clinching the number 1.
Really? Let me get 5. Let me get 5. Ah! Good play, good call, good call. Hey, watch first. We got 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds, right? We got 30. Hey, go! Throw it! Yeah. It looked like it on the iPad. It did on the iPad.
Trevor Baptiste.
It looked like it on the iPad.
He and backup goalie JD Colarusso were like, oh, that was a goal. Throw the flag. It wasn't a goal. Didn't count. But, I mean, you got to love the effort.
All those iPads come in handy on the sideline. Especially at night, they're a lot easier to read. During the day, sometimes the glare can be rough.
Effort is exactly what you're getting from Baptiste. Son Chlorella under the helmet.
Those iPads popularized by Coach Tillman at Maryland.
Inside Carlson, quick pass. Now the skip to Chanenchuk. Channy, the bouncer this time. Can't beat Colarusso. Or can't beat Kincannon.
For those of us who have seen this game played through generations, like the dream of evolving lacrosse, the evolution is this league. This league is evolving it. Guys with iPads on the sideline reviewing replays.
Dennis fires it wide.
Going over possessions. Every possession when they come over, they'll show them some cut-ups.
What about the way the game is played versus when you were playing either at Hopkins or
Well, much more east-west. You guys were talking about it the other day, how Justin Anderson.
Yeah, two-way guy. Was
north-south, how different his north-south dodging is compared to everyone else who runs east-west, now off of picks. He's an old-school north-south dodger.
Bernlohr, just a stone wall tonight, all season long, but especially tonight against a really good offensive team that has just not been the way we've seen Atlas all season long.
Two-time champion. Preseason this year up in Albany. Stagnita went to Kyle off that subpar year last year and said, you're the guy. And confidence goes both ways. If you're making saves, you're going to have confidence. When your defense is not playing well, and it's hard to keep your confidence, even as a pro. And Kyle's found it this year.
Rambo. Now Logan checking Rambo. That is
it was a good matchup.
Yep.
It didn't need the slide.
Slide came, though. Williams. Oh, that is just too pretty.
Damn. You know he's going to his right. Look at those shoulders. He's just so strong. I mean, that's an old school fullback saying, I'm going to take this ball between the guard and tackle. Look at him. He set up his right hand the whole time. The roll to get back to the middle, a little hitch there to give that goalie the extra look. But the whole time he knows he's coming back to his right. That initial move to set up your strength. You're a young player, you're watching that. Set up your strong hand.
What a night for Zed, for Rambo. Rambo's got 4 goals again. Zed has a hat trick now after a couple last week. Face-off violation. Baptiste is just too tough. Now Teeter. Gets to the middle of the field. Thought we were going to see a bomb from Aiken that time. Good pass and catch. Picaro can't finish it, though. You just cannot get the ball past Bernlohr tonight, no matter what they do. Done. Now he'll look to go quickly.
You think the Whips would take most of these possessions now down to zeros.
Kirst, so good in transition because he was such a force at Rutgers, and now playing two-way and has been really impressive on the defensive side.
Very much so. At Nova, when he first got to school there at Villanova, he actually faced off. By the end of his career, we thought of him as he was really playing attack at Rutgers. He wasn't even a midfielder, and he's very right-handed. And now to see him as a pro getting up and down the field, he's changed his body.
Well, that's a big adjustment that a lot of midfielders have to make at this level, right? Because with only 19 players on an active roster, you stand a much better chance of prolonging your career. Cannon made a great save if you can play on both sides of the field.
Right now, the only thing in the balance is the total. Cannon keeps it under, but that'll do some damage to the total.
Not Danny Noonan, Danny Logan.
A deuce. Kincannon, robbery from close range. And he doesn't miss it, Logan. Using the earth from distance.
I mean, Bernlohr stopped everything, and that just had a lot of English. A little topspin once it hit the turf.
That's the transition twos we talked about all day. The Atlas have pulled off this season with Kobe Smith and Cade Van Raphorst.
Baptiste is going to be all bruised and battered at the end of the night, as I'm sure he is every night.
Another one.
That time Costabile.
Why not? Cutting into that points differential.
Law trying to get around Warner. Teat, tough angle. How did he score on that angle? Great shot by Jeff Teat. First goal of the night.
Hands. Watch his hands. Watch how fast. Catch the shot. Catch, shot. Keeps it so simple. When you think he's going to pass, he shoots. When you think he's going to shoot, he passes. When you think he's going to shoot it high, it goes low. Like, he's Mr. Opposite, Jeff T.
He was goal line extended there. That's like a 5-degree angle to shoot at. And the top goalie in the league to beat, and he did it.
Who makes it look easier? Stylistically.
I don't know if anybody does more than Teat. And he looks like he's like in 8th grade. I mean, it's unbelievable out there. Now Teeter coming in. Dunn's all over him, but he keeps possession back at X. Gets it to Gray. Still got Baptiste out there. Baccaro, he comes upfield. He'll take a shot. Bernlohr, forget about it. Baccaro had a really good look. His defender fell down. Still couldn't beat him. Now here's Warner. He can run for days. Final minute and 15 of this game. It's been owned by the Whipsnakes, making a statement, and in the process, locking down the #1 seed. Those one-goal games are long in the rearview mirror, aren't they? Kahn, nice job defensively, and he takes a shot from Logan. Check that. That was Durkin. Here's Logan. Law trying to dunk it in. He's going to be in the crease. Final 20 seconds. Whips will just run this clock down and get out of here with regular season championship. #1 seed, a bye in the quarterfinals, which is that first weekend of September in Boston.
They head straight to D.C.
2 weeks off, though, so that's sort of one of the things, Q, you and I were talking about when they built this big lead and we're watching this game thinking they're hot right now. They'll play in Seattle next week with the number 1 seed already locked up, and then they get 2 weeks off before they'll play in the semifinals in D.C.
DJ Ralph playing You Must Whip It. You know what that means. 6-0 lead, 12-1 at half. If you're a young player or coach, you want to go back on ESPN Plus and watch the first half of this ball game. It was just an absolute clinic, as good as we've seen. Unbelievable. Coach Stagnita and the Whips.
And because of the big win, too, look at that score differential. They take over the top spot. They're 8-1. Atlas are now 5-4. They've lost 3 out of 4. Struggling a little bit here down the stretch. You can see in the standings, though, right in the thick of things, but that score differential took a big hit tonight relative to the other teams that they're right in the heat of that battle with. Time now for our Cash App goal of the game. Who else? Rambo.
Big week last week in Denver. Continues. Thought he played really outstanding early on in this game, owning his matchup, getting topside, right-handed, known as a lefty goal scorer. He mixes it up. They're shading him too much to his left.
That was the Cash App goal of the game. Get the free cash card by Visa today for instant discounts at your favorite retailers. Chantel standing by on the Whip sideline.
How about this guy in the cage? But you know what? It was really impressive the way that you all didn't get complacent, given how things went in that first half. What did it take to pull off a win like this?
I thought the offense looked incredible for that first, really the first half, and our defense was giving up. To be honest, I know I sound like a broken record, but easy shots for me to save. I thought I got hit by a lot of shots, too. I didn't have to make too many stick saves early on, so got my confidence going. But all around, that first half was the best 24 minutes the Whipsnakes ever put together. So.
The Whip's identity is partly the defense, and you're included in that conversation. Why is it so strong this year?
Just continuing to love each other. This group dates back for years and years, so we just have a bond that's super special, and just it's bigger than on field, bigger than X's and O's, and we just play with a passion for each other.
Clinched the top seed and the bye. We've seen this story before in a couple of national championships. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Chantel.
Continue to love each other. Best Whips have ever played. Wow. Big quotes.
Big statement by Kyle Bernlohr. He made a big statement tonight in the pipes, and a big win for the Whipsnakes. They're the number 1 seed come the playoffs. Coming up next, it's Water Dogs and Redwoods. They will face off at 9:24 here local time. That's 11:24 Eastern. Once again, our final score, 16-8. Whips on top for Quint Kessenich and Chantel McCabe.